Be'ezus Hashem, today's Amud is Daf Yud Amud Aleph. We're holding in the middle of Torah Ches. We learned until now that the Shleimus Al Chesarnis is the need of Ruach Chaim. A person is able to give a krech and a sigh. That when he comes across anything, he's able to take a breath. That is a Shleimus of Al Chesarnis. And we said that Indian is something which is found in the Torah. The Ruach is found in the Torah, and the way we get it from the Torah is through Talmidei Chachamim who are mamshech that Ruach from the Torah. And we explained that Ruach is the Indian of the Yud Gimel Midas Sharachamim, of the Rachmanis, of the Eibush is Megala. We said the Rishonim who are not connected to Tzadikim, they also need a way when they encounter chesronis. How are they able to deal with the chesronis? We said that they also have an idea of ruach, but their ruach is not a ruach of a richas apayim. It's an idea of ruach sa'ara, of a storm wind. When they come across something chesaron, then they get all worked up, and that ruach sa'ara is what helps them to go through it. Now, the Rebbe is mamshich that you can't be misgar b'rishoyim. Because, and what does that mean to Miskar Barasha? The Rebbe all of a sudden starts talking about being Miskar Rishayim. How does that come in? It's because this whole Mahalach that we've been talking about till now is something, is sort of like a you could say a vikuach. When you have concerns, what's the best way to deal with it? Is the best way to deal with a Richas Apayim, to realize Rachmanis Eivishter and to take it in, or to come with a ruach sa'ar, ruach that lifts you up with a storm, and to be mashlam al chesronis. And the Rebbe is saying over here that the proper mahalach is a davka mahalach of ischaskis and savlonis and to be sovel and to be able to krechts and not to come with a storm wind. And the thing is that the Rishayim who come, who are not masking the tzaddik, people who are chilik on the derech of the tzaddik, the derech of his chaskes, that they come in a different way. They come with the derech of a storm wind. They can't handle our richas apayim that we would cover from the tzaddik. For them, it's too hard to. They can't be saved that, and we need to be able to be machnia that kitrig that we hear from those people who are not makor to tzaddik, and they tell us everything has to be ruach sa'ara and to do and to this. So, but the thing is that they taka arva metzach. The Rebbe says that when the person goes to ruach sa'ara, then in the short term they're actually very metzliach. And memela, if a person would try to machnia them, then he wouldn't be metzliach because the taka very metzliach b'shaitai. The only one who could be meskarin is Rishayim is the tzaddik gomer. That's mevatel all his ra. So what is that? An explanation for that is like this: that there are 4 yisaidis over here, Eishuach Mayim Afer, and all of the midas in the world are nimshach from these 4 yisaidis. The bikdusha, they come from the 4 oisias of Shem Havaya. But in Mishtal Shlamata, then the me'uriv toiv v'ra. Every midah could be used for good and could be used for bad. And when a Rasha has a midah ra, he's mamshech his ruach chaim, his ability to be mamshech a ruach, to be masham all his chesronis. That when he comes across a chesron, he's able to deal with it with a ruach sa'ara. It comes from his midas rois. And every Rasha has his midah ra, which he's mamshech on himself more. When we say Rishayim over here, we don't mean dafka, huge, horrible Rishayim. We mean people who don't want to be mischazik with the Or of Tzaddik and the Torah of the Tzaddik and the Torah of his chaskes, of the Torah of Yud Gimel Midas Sharachamim. And they think everything has to come with a storm wind, and usually the way they do that is with a midah ra. So, but when a Tzaddik is able to go into a midah ra, which means not necessarily not to be nichshal a midah ra, but he has an asayin in the midah ra, he's oimid in that asayin, then he's able to break that midah ra of the Rasha, that the Rasha won't be able to get his ruach sa'ara from that midah ra anymore. But in order to be able to go down to those midas rois, then the tzaddik has to know that he has no potential of chas v'shalom being nichshal. He has to be in a madrega that he was mavar the toiv of his midas so much that he knows that even if he'll be in a sign, he knows that he won't fall. So that's the in Yamash Plashoimit Adi Aretz is a Rosh Tevis Mem Reish Ayin Aleph, which is the same Rosh Tevis Eish Rachmaim Offer. Now, in order to get to this level of being able to mafish toivara, then that's the Indian of Torah and Tefillah. Then, when a person learns halacha ba'imik, he learns ba'imik lalan amkul halacha and be'iyun, then that's mavar toivara. Why? Because the whole Indian before a person has a klarkite in halacha, then everything is mavulba for him. Everything is mixed up. Toiv, ra, asar, mutter, tamei, tor, kosher, pasul. When a person is mavar the halacha, then he's mavar what's toiv and what's not toiv, what's tahar and what's not, what's mutter, what's kosher, and that is mavar in his nefesh, his midas. So when a person learns halacha, when a person learns halacha, then he's mavar his midas, and he's machniah himself the potential to even do to be nichshal midas rice. So only when a person gets that beer, then the tzaddik gets that beer, and also called nilvim elav. Also, a person who's mukuriv to tzaddik, who brought himself to that point, that doesn't even have a potential of being nichshal. He could also be miskar b'yishayim. Now, does every time a person learn halacha, does that give him that koyach? So the Rebbe says weiter that it's together with tefillah. He explains like this: there's something called a gan, which is a Torah, and you have the neshamas Yisrael, who are ma'ayin and come to understanding the Torah. They're like the plants that grow in the gan, and what gives them the koyach to grow? That's the mayan, the water, which is watering the gan, and that's the seichel and the chachma that they have, which gives them the koyach to be able to be ma'ayin with their seichel in the Torah. And what's that mayan? That mayan is tefillah. Mayan Beis Hashem Yetze is basically based tefillah. Beis Hashem is tefillah, and that's being something koyach al poil, because tefillah is chiddush ha'olam. The whole part of tefillah is like we learned in Torah Zion, that you believe in chiddush ha'olam. You believe that the Eibush is mechadish the world in any ways he wants. So he can be mishana teva, and that emunah of tefillah, that's b'koyach, that's potential. That's kulon b'chachma sisa, and that's the meaning of actual tefillah is b'koyach, and Torah is b'fayal. So when a person davens, then he brings unto himself the emunah in chiddush ha'olam. The emunah, which is the emunah of ruach, we spoke about in the beginning of the Torah, that this ruach is also the chiddush ha'olam, the shleimus of the olam. When a person brings on himself that koyach of believing of the mailam atava, that's how you mamshach on yourself the koyach to be ma'ayin in Torah and to understand Torah. When you mamshach on yourself that ruach chayim of the emunah in the Rachmanis of Hashem, and the emunah in how Hashem can mechadish anything, and through that tefillah you ma'or the chachma and the seichel, then that gives you that koyach mepib das esfuna, that you're able to water the gan. That means to water the neshamas, so your own neshama, that should be able to, in order to be zeichet to the Torah, that the Torah should, the gan brings forth the vegetation, which is the Torah, which brings forth the koyach of the neshamas, and that is a tefillah through which we're zeicha to Torah.